Not a lot different than right after the game. Got beat in all three phases. I thought our defense played really hard. We're physical. Again, to hold that team to 21 points from a defensive side and 350 total low with the weapons they have, felt like there was a great effort from that side. The offense side of the football, I don't question how hard the guys played. You just got to be able to execute. We weren't able to do that, never got in a rhythm. And it's just the, same things we talked about after the game. So love that our guys didn't quit. The dynamic on the sideline throughout the whole thing, where our guys were at immediately after the game and where they're at currently. Love the way that we're moving on and looking forward to hopefully bouncing back this weekend. Well, it just gets back to continuing to work at it. I mean, again, right, you're developing a young Q. You're playing a bunch of guys up front. The camaraderie with the guys that are playing on the O-line and then getting the Q, the experience, it'll come. I don't at Upper Iowa, we were moving the football fine. We just had some costly turnovers at that point. So I felt like through the first 4 weeks, last weekend was the first time that offensively we just couldn't get on track at all. If you're looking for positives from last weekend, right, we threw the one ball up for grabs on the fourth down in a must-score situation. Which is exactly what the Q should have done at that point rather than throwing away or taking a sack. It's a fourth down, so didn't hurt us. But I thought he did a better job taking care of the football on Saturday, and we just couldn't make any plays, so couldn't score. He's coming. It's not perfect. I think mentally he's still got a ways to go with what we're asking him to do with certain reads. That's part of the development. I think as he gets more healthy, again, I said it after the game on Saturday as well, when we can move him, he's significantly more comfortable getting outside the pocket. So as he gets more healthy, not only does it help out him, but I think it helps the entire offense out. The O-line doesn't have to hold up for quite as long because we're moving the launch point. So, right now, you're inexperienced up front and at Q, because of the injury to the quarterback, right? You're asking him to stay in the pocket, so you're not able to hold up or be comfortable from the quarterback standpoint, staying in there. So it's been tough on everybody. But as we get Alex healthy and can start moving him around a little bit, changing up some formations and doing that kind of thing to window dress some stuff, I think it'll help everybody out. Again, I think it's the same thing we talk about with the quarterback. It's a reps thing, seeing it live. You put that talent that Davenport had on the front line against what you have, it's different than what we see against scouts every single day, even though you're trying to simulate the game speed. At the same time, though, what those guys need to get comfortable with is, playing up to our standard in terms of the toughness and the effort that they play with. There are going to be mistakes that are made. We can live with that, but when you're a little bit timid or second to go from that standpoint, we're not good enough to let them react first. We got to be able to get out the football, especially when we're running the football, get color covered up and give the tailbacks a chance. When we're second guessing ourselves or doing things to just try to survive rather than, working with great technique and physicality, then it makes for a long day. From a production standpoint, I love what they're doing. We said that going into the year that's got to be the side of the football that carries us and leads the way, and I think they're doing just that, not only from a production standpoint, but vocally in the locker room or on the sideline. If you're going to get into things that we need to correct on that side of the football, there's way too many procedural penalties, right? We're jumping off sides, giving up free plays, or, even on Saturday, we get them stopped after that long drive in the third quarter, which would have held them to a field goal. We line up in the neutral zone, and then they get one more crack at it and end up scoring. So there are some things from that standpoint, that we can clean up. But if you're going to get really greedy, I guess, trying to turn teams over, I think that's the next step. We talked about it yesterday in the team meeting that I do think that side of the football is at a point right now where we are one of the better defenses in the league in terms of what we have over there, or can be. I shouldn't say that yet. We've only played one league game. But, I think once we get into a groove, and we got to have somebody on that side of the football that's willing to go make a play and take the football away as well. So they've done a great job with that in the first 3 weeks. We couldn't get one last weekend, but if you're looking for things that they can add on to it outside of what they have already been doing, it's we got to try to go get that football back when we can. Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I talked to Alex about on a film study after watching the game is, as he gets more healthy, we start seeing the field a little bit better from a progression standpoint. But when he gets outside of the pocket, his feet are too dynamic to just be burning the football when it's just D-line pressure. He's fast enough, he's athletic enough to get away from those guys, keep his eyes downfield, and hopefully make a play at that point. When you're playing teams like Davenport or anybody else that's at the top of this league, the Q is going to have to do some special things to keep drives going or make a play here and there, a difference maker, if you will, when it comes to things breaking down and just going to get us 4 yards to keep us on the field, or maybe a scramble and finding somebody 15, 20 yards downfield like he did to D-Will on that one that got called back. So he's got it in his game. I think as he gets more healthy and comfortable with once he does leave the pocket, being able to make those plays, not worrying about so much of, putting the ball in jeopardy. There's that fine line there. Obviously, he can do that stuff, and he will. They're talented. They always are. Skill spots, they've got speed, athleticism, all the things that give Michigan Tech trouble, speed and space. So they're doing a couple different things differently with the 1Q with some of the option football that they're playing two guys. So we're going to have to be good with our eyes. It kind of gets back to, the old days with Northwood's Woodbone that they used to run where they're, triple option type thing. So, we're doing some different things in practice to make sure that we're disciplined with our eyes from that standpoint, making sure everybody on the field's accounted for. But defensively, really good in the back end again. So we're going to have to do some things schematically to help free up some of our wide receivers. Again, if we can move the pocket, that would be ideal. But the big thing for us is after a game like we had on Saturday is getting the entire, 55-man roster on the bus and getting down there and getting the kickoff so we can, let's go compete again and get that taste out of our mouth. Yeah, I mean, I think Coach Thomas and the rest of the defense staff do an incredible job with not only the film study and what they do on the boards, but it's reps and practice. It's something that we haven't seen. You see it all the time on TV when, the D1 schools are getting ready to play the academies. It's a different deal. So you don't get a ton of time to work it in during the week, but whatever their main calls are going to be out of those certain formations, here's what our calls are going to be, here's where our fits are, and then you just got to be disciplined enough to make sure you're doing it 100 miles an hour when we get to Saturday. Moving around formations, doing that kind of thing. We tried last week, just couldn't get it over there. If you're game planning to play Michigan Tech right now, right, you're finding number 2 and you're number 10 and taking those guys away. What they did last weekend, like we talked about after the game, was they disrupted so much with their front four that whoever they wanted to put extra guys over, they could have last weekend. So, we have to be able to run the football. We've always said that around here. That helps loosen up everything in the back end. The first 2 weeks, we were able to leave Ethan on the backside, and he was a matchup issue for the defenses that we played. We're starting to see better athletes now, so it's a little bit tougher to go one-on-one to allow him to be bigger than that guy on the boundary, especially when, Davenport's got a corner that's 6'3", looking him right in the eyes, and just as physical. So, to get back to your initial question, right, we're going to have to start moving around formation, different motions to try to free him up the same way that we do D-Will or anybody else. So it's in the game plan. We'll do some different things, and hopefully that what we're doing, the Q's eyes are good and we can get the football to where it needs to be at that point.